Hello everybody, welcome back to Bag Only, my inventory-only Ultimate Iron Man here on Oldschool Runescape with a couple of extra limitations. So in the episode before last we got Quest Cape, and then in the last episode we did a few post-Quest Cape things. We completed the Lumbridge Elite Diary, which required a whole bunch of smithing. We did a whole bunch of construction as well to put a fairy ring in our house. So with the combination of those two and our respawn point now being really close to our POH with the unlocking of Prith, we can get around the game super easily, and it makes a lot of PVM a lot safer and a lot more accessible. With this unlocked, we managed to take out Zulrah and do our Western Diary up to the hard level, which of course unlocks Crystal Halberd and Elite Void going forwards, which will be cool. And we also managed to get a Brimhaven Spirit Tree planted, as well as the one that already exists in our POH. So that's going to be a lot of use for getting to the Cranbun shop and the farming patches over on Brimhaven, stuff like that. So next up for the account is going to be trying to progress skills and gear. Primarily, we've got two things we really need to do to get gear for bossing. One of those is Slayer, and the other is obviously doing some Barrows. Barrows is the most accessible place to get gear upgrades for all three styles, but we want to be able to do Barrows more efficiently. To do that, we want two items specifically. We'd like a Trident. It's a lot more DPS than Iban's Blast, and also it allows us to do Barrows without bringing runes in our inventory. We can instead charge up the Trident with runes. Of course, to get a Trident, we need to get to 87 Slayer. Along the way, you'll be getting loads of cool strength-based unlocks as well that are going to help us out. The D Boots and the Abyssal Whip at 83 and 85 Slayer, so it's going to be a really, really cool level to go for. Also, for doing Barrows, we're going to be looking into the combat achievements. If we can do the easy and medium tiers, then we can get the Gommel's Hilt 2, which is a new item, which when equipped prevents your prayer draining from the weird ghost effect in Barrows. So it's going to allow us to do really, really efficient trips, pretty much where our prayer's not going to drop. But that will require quite a few boss-based kills and achievements in those combat diaries. So we'll be looking towards that in a little bit, but primarily we're going to start off with Slayer. So the first things first is I'm just going to get some range gear together here. We're going to go safe spot Cave Horrors till we get our Black Mask back once again. Forever reclaiming our Slayer helm on this account, it seems. Right gamers, here we are, Nightmare Zone. As you can see, we've got our Slayer helm. And now we once again have our imbued Slayer helm, so we can go do Slayer tasks with any style and get the bonus. That's really good. Dude, no way. So this came to teleport to our house just to finish this task off so we could go pick up another proper one. And I got the 1 in 1,000 crystal teleport drop. For those that are not in the know, this is the same as these crystal teleport seeds, but once fully charged up, it actually acts as an unlimited version of this teleport. So we actually have all the shards on us to fully make this teleport seed. So this has a couple of uses. Obviously it gives you unlimited tellies to both Letya and Prith dinners, which maybe means we can actually get rid of our house telly runes if we just hang on to this for a while. And it also means that if we need to do a tree run at the Letya fruit tree patch, we can simply use the Letya option on this crystal. So yeah, that's kind of a wild item to get. Inevitably at some stage we will be getting rid of this item. It's just a nice neat thing, I guess. Oh guys, this dude's just straight up crashing me as I'm lowering my room. You're a trash person, bro. So I mean, that's cool, you know. Right guys, that was a Dust Devil task. Really, really good one. Got so much XP. Actually got 93 hit points during that task, which is quite a big level, because that's actually the level where anglerfish start healing you for the maximum amount. I believe it's 22. And then also I actually got enough ancient shards to make a full arc light. We are currently 78 Slayer, 107k XP left till 79. Then at 80 obviously we get Necreals, and then after that we start getting some really good stuff. There's 83 strength coming in, which is really nice. Don't think that's another max hit, but always nice to get more strength levels as the combat levels on this account are really slowing down now. Hey guys, here we are between Slayer tasks, just in the Giant's Foundry. What I've decided that I'm going to do is anything that's more than like a 1-bar alchable, instead of alching those on task if the task is complete, I'm just going to come over here to the Giant's Foundry with the minigame telly, plop them all into the Crucible in here and just use them for smithing XP instead of raw coins. I know I keep coming back and incrementally doing tiny little bits of smithing training, but I do think that I'm going to go for 90 at some stage, the smithing level to make rune limbs from scratch. At that point we'd only really be missing the 85 mining in order to mine rune ore, and then that would just pretty much remove the need entirely to ever go back to Deranged Archaeologist, because we wouldn't need his rune limbs or his black d'hide body. So like I say, while I'm doing this little Slayer grind here, there's a lot of monsters that drop kind of junk alchables. I'll just be coming over here with the minigame telly whenever I've got time between tasks. It's probably not the most efficient way to train this, but I just feel like it's a really cool thing to do. Right guys, I think it's time to get rid of the Bloodbark. Served us well, helped us kill Seren, helped us kill Zulrah, but I don't particularly think we're going to need it for any Slayer tasks, and since Slayer's kind of our immediate goal to get to like 87 or whatever we're going for, I don't think it's worth keeping these. If we do any Ancient Burst tasks, for example, then we probably will be doing those in just like Monk's robes. The prayer bonus is actually worth more than the Mage Accuracy, so no need for Bloodbark anymore. Gamers, the Bloodvelds have blessed us with a hard clue. Bandos page 2, not bad. Hey guys, here we are killing Chorus on our really slow grind towards 87 Slayer, and we got ourselves the Leaf-Bladed Battle Axe, and as you can see in my hand, we also received the Leaf-Bladed Sword this task. But yeah, we've had Chorus Head, we've had 3 swords, and we've now got the Battle Axe. But what's interesting about the Battle Axe is it's like one of the best entry-level crush weapons, really. I don't know, we'll keep this one in the bag, and we'll decide what we're doing with it later, but really, really nice to see the Dopamine Collection log pop up, and actually quite a decent melee weapon this time, so that's sweet. Hey, looks like our luck's really in these days. There's our second Dragon Defender. Sorry, not second, probably more like fourth. So really nice to have that back. Hey guys, hard clue from the Gargoyles. Let's see what we get. An Enchanted Robe Bottom. Now I'm fairly sure that's the same stats as Mystics. So not entirely good. We did get an MSB back, but again, we can grab those from Spiritual Rangers relatively easily. Hey, here we are doing Hellhounds. Hopefully we get some more hard clues from this. And we've just passed ourselves 79 Slayer, so one more level till we actually unlock a new monster. Hey guys, here we are looking like an absolute champion, and as befitting of a champion, we've just got ourselves 85 strength, so looking good. Obviously we've got the defense level and the attack level to pretty much equip anything in the game, I think. I don't think there's any armor currently that's higher than level 80, or any weapons that are currently higher than level 82. But yeah, just strength training away here with the D-Sim. Obviously, once we get to 85, Slayer will be grabbing a whip, and there's no strength training option on the whip, so we'll probably be training either defensively or controlled, but that's still quite a ways off. Hey everybody, here we are just bursting Dagonoths, trying to make the most of this ancient staff whenever possible, because if you can burst a task, you should burst a task, otherwise Slayer will take 10 years to get these last few levels. Slayer's anywhere from like 10 to 15k an hour. Like I say, every time we do swap to Ancient Magics, we do need to go buy runes. We can't use a rune pouch, and of course we also need to run all the way to the Pyramid to swap our spellbook, which is something I would like to change at some stage. I don't think I've included it on the videos, but I have been to Pyramid Plunder a number of times on this account. In one more thieving level, we will unlock another floor in Pyramid Plunder, so it might be worth going at 81 or 91. It's kind of hard to stack up certain enemies like these Dagonoths because they are so large, so at best you can burst like 5 at a time unless there's a really good spot I don't know about. It's still a lot better than meleeing or ranging, and it is nice of course to also get our mage level up because our mage level is slightly lacking. Whenever we've been bossing and it's required mage, for example Muspet or Zulrah, we always splash or we have a much lower max hit, so really a 2-for-1 by bursting these Slayer tasks. Really, really good stuff. Hey gamers, here I am killing Dagonoths in Waterbirth Island. Just fancied a random Konar task, that's why I'm specifically here, because I do as Lady Konar wishes, and there is 86 strength on the account. And then here's the invent, just an assortment of things. Ash Crusher, Bone Crusher, which is currently empty, I need to refill after this task. Dragon Battle Axe for Strength Special Attack, which we can counter with the Restore Pool in our house. And then of course the Leaf-Bladed Battle Axe I'm just hanging on to on the off chance we get any more Chorus tasks. And then just other miscellaneous junk, some Alk Runes, some Ancient Shards, some Crystal Shards, and then just keeping any Ensouled Heads till the end of the task where we can go to CIS, swap our spellbook, really quickly use these, and then head back to Steve that I'm mostly using. Generally I'm just going to my house and getting prayer back and just coming back with Proselyte and RD Cape and max prayer bonus possible. Hey guys, get a load of this big chonker. Don't really see too many superiors on this account, and sometimes when I do see a superior I do end up having to tally out, because they normally appear at the most inopportune times when I'm just out of supplies and I'm already about to leave. A Crystal Shard which is guaranteed in this dungeon, some white berries which are worthless, and an Avanto seed which I'm probably not going to bother planting, but obviously they are always a nice chunk of Slayer XP. Hey everybody, here we are, just slaying some lizard men at the behest of Konar. That's why we're in this really rubbish location. It's going quite well so far today. I've got 230k strength XP and another strength level, that's 87 here on the account, and our Slayer is now 150k away from 81. It's probably going to be like a month for me to get 87 Slayer, honestly, so I'm probably going to have to come up with some other interim goals before we go straight for 87, just to make some videos, otherwise there won't be any content for like a month. I'm thinking maybe once we get like 83, 83 or something. We'll just put a quick pin in Slayer for a little bit and maybe do a detour. Probably be quite a few more days to get to 83 though. But as of today, I've done 56k Slayer, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I've been averaging like 9k an hour, including my herb runs and other garbage I've been up to. So it is a bit of a slog, and we do need almost 2 mil to get to 87. Here we are, slaying away in the catacombs. As you can see, I've once again got the arc light. I am trying to keep as many ancient shards as possible if I do get them as drops, because they do stack, and then once you have 3 you can make an arc light with 1,000 charges, which isn't a lot. It doesn't even really get you half a Slayer task, but it is nice because you do get really good melee XP an hour. Also got an easy combat task, I guess, just for killing one of these with this weapon, so that's cool too. Hey guys, very funny fletching level coming in, just making a little bit of ammo here to do a cave horror task from the safe spot. But yeah, 73 coming in, that's onyx bolts, and then 75 we can chop magic logs into arrow shafts, and then like I say, 80 is MSBs. Hey everybody, there's another week of Tears of Gothics. I've been putting it off because it's good, like I say, it's just going to go into fire making. It's probably one of the most painful things to watch as a RuneScape player, but there you go. There's 13k in our fire making. But as you can see, fire making is a full level now behind fletching, prayer, or herblore. And actually to go play Wintertot, I'd have to make a lot of invent space. So if I do go inside, I do need to take like 9 food or something to survive a single game. We will certainly train it at some stage. Hey everybody, back on the grind here, just slaying away, and with that, that's 81 Slayer on the account. So it's about 3.5 days after we got level 80, now we're level 81, so the levels are flying in. I think we're averaging probably 12k an hour Slayer or something like that, so I need 1.8 more mil, so it's like 100 and something hours, closer to 150 probably hours of actively hitting things on Slayer task like this. But I'm thinking maybe once we get to 83 we'll unlock Dragon Boots, maybe we'll go do our wilderness stuff, but of course since we're not allowed to store items including our coins, what I will have to do is use up our money somewhere first. Maybe a combination of smithing primarily, up to 90. I think I worked it out, we need about 3 or 4 mil, but we have done almost a full level passively by using bars and alkables from tasks, so we might actually have enough money for 90 smithing now. But I'll spend all our coins, we'll get 90 smithing, we'll knock out all the wilderness content that we're probably ever going to do on the account, all in one fell swoop. But in the meantime, I would like to see more burst tasks. We're really not getting very many from Steve. It is quite a lot of melee tasks, which isn't an issue really. I mean, I think we started our Slayer grind at like 82 strength, I want to say, something like that. But now we're 88, so we've gained 6 strength levels, a few million XP, and we've also gained, I think, 2 HP levels, almost coming to 94 now. There it is, 94 hit points on the account. Kinda crazy high, actually. So that's really good, 5 more HP levels left. And then we can get the hit points cape, which is actually a fairly decent cape, so... Ahoy gamers, another day of Slayer down. We're now 175k away from 82, just did our 250th task in a row. Did a Konar task, so received 630 Slayer points for that one task there. As you can see, I was down to 24 points because I'd been skipping so many Metal Dragon tasks, but 650 points should suit us for quite a while. So what we're going to do is just grab another task, but I did grab 2 Brimstone Keys from the Calphite task we just did, so let's see if we get anything good, any noted steel bars or something. Bit of gold ore, and 2 rune plate legs. Not really exciting, but you know, that's the game, I guess. Hey gamers, this will be a farming level. Not a farming level in a long time because I've had such terrible luck from birdhouse runs. Just getting the absolute worst tree seeds like apple trees and oak seeds and just rubbish that genuinely isn't worth our time to go re-gear and plant. But there's 81. Hey everybody, a weird one here. I'm in Pyramid Plunder once again. I think I mentioned before, but I have done this a couple of times and not really recorded it because if you don't get the unique, then you get nothing. So it's not very exciting. But I am currently on a Minions of Scarabus Slayer task. As you can see, I've got 26 more of these guys to go. I think you have a task of about 50 to 60. Now, it's a really terrible idea, but if you come here and open these gold chests in Pyramid Plunder and the scarabs come out, if you actually kill them, they do count towards your Minions of Scarabus task. They give you either 0 or 1 Slayer XP each, because they don't have proper combat XP, but it's an excuse to come to Pyramid Plunder because we still want, of course, the Pharaoh Scepter. We've got 80 construction, so we could make the spellbook changing altar in our POH with no boost whatsoever. So it would be really, really convenient to get this Pharaoh Scepter and stop running down to the Ancient Pyramid every time we want to swap to do a burst task. So it seems like a really decent excuse to just force ourselves to come do a few laps of Pyramid Plunder just whenever we do get one of these tasks from Steve. They're not very common. This is like the 2nd or 3rd time I've done this, but I thought I'd just show it off. Like I say, not worth doing, should skip it if you're just looking to train Slayer. And if we can succeed in searching one of these urns, then it should be enough XP to get us level 81, which I'll be skipping through quickly because we've actually unlocked the next room now we're in here, which is really good. But it's really cool having access to these 2 level 81 sources for the Pharaoh Scepter. We'll have more searches per hour and better chance per hour of actually pulling the unique. Hey guys, finally time to do a little bit of herb lore, I think. Just because I've finally completed a farming contract in the farming guild. I've not done one for weeks, and it gave me like 5 dwarfweed seeds, so I've really got to go around the game and pick all these herbs that are just sat here. Obviously we can make ranging pots, but getting the secondaries is actually really hard on this account. If you go and telegrab the Wines of Zami near Falador in the traditional place, then it takes like 20 seconds to telegrab one, get outside, get out of combat with the druids, and then hop to the next world. So to get like a mass amount of Wines of Zami from there takes ages, plus they're not noted, so there's only so many we can get per trip. As you can see, we've got 26 Ranars, we've got 58 Snapdragons, and we've got 8 Aventeurs, which I just turn into fishing pots because they're really easy to make. And then I just generally go to Waterbirth Island if I need snape grass, because there's a ton of spawns of those on the ground that respawn really quick, so you never really need to farm your own snape grass for fishing pots and prayer pots. And then specifically for Snapdragons, for the red spider eggs to make super restores, I'm just doing Tower of Life, so I'll nip to like Karamja or Arendar Pass or something, get a single red spider egg, then just nip to like any fishing shop and just buy a bunch of sardines to the Tower of Life, putting them together to create a spidine, and then killing that, and it gives you like 4 or 5 or 6 noted red spider eggs each one, and then of course you can just use those, unnote those, and then turn those into more spidines. So it's a really good way to make super restores. It's a real long time till we unlock anything good with herblore, which is really annoying. I'm thinking maybe once we hit 80 herblore we might try some herbivore, but again we won't have access to the herb bag to do that efficiently. We'll have to just note our herbs on like the Tool Leprechaun on Fossil Island or something. Right guys, there we go, almost 12k herblore gained there. If we take a look at our level, we're now 21k away from 74, which I don't think unlocks anything particularly good. Yeah, we can just do Divine Range pots without a boost, but we can already drink a beer and make those. Then the next thing we unlock is Magic pots at 76, which are kind of garbage. I'm fairly sure they're like a +4 mage boost, whereas like a Wizard's Mind Bomb from the pub is a +3 anyway. But then at least we get Staminas at 77. We're primarily working towards Brews at 81, obviously, as the best healing potion. And then after that, really, we're working towards Anti-Venoms with a +5 boost, so 82 would be ideal for herblore, but it is a long way away. Now there's no more quest lamps left on the account. Hey game, let's got ourselves a hard clue from the Bloodvelds. What are we going to get? Okay, a Bandos Coif, interesting. Coifs aren't the best because the Slayer Helm already has 3 range, and I'm not really doing any combat that's off task for the foreseeable future, so that'll probably be an alch, honestly. But an interesting item to pick up in a brand new collection log slot, so that's decent. Whoa, gamers, just missed the level, but there's 82 Slayer finally. And you'll also see in my chat box, we actually got the 3rd piece of a Dark Totem, because I've been hanging on to these because we've been doing so many Catacombs tasks, which means we can actually do 1 attempt at Skotizo at some stage. I'm going to hang on to this, not go do it immediately, because I just want to make sure if there are any combat tasks that are either easy or medium tier, that we at least look into those before we go attempt this, because it takes a long time for us to make a full totem. It's probably like a full day or 2 of being in the Catacombs killing things. So yeah, really good to have, and that's also, like I say, a collection log slot, because we never received the top in the past, because you don't receive the top unless you have the bottom and the middle already in your invent like we did this time. Hey gamers, there's 90 strength coming in. I didn't realise we were that close, but really nice level to have. So yeah, just carry on strengthening for a bit, see you in a bit. So here we are, killing a superior gargoyle on task. Sadly didn't really receive anything from it, but to be honest, if we did receive like a hyper rare, like an imbued heart or an eternal gem, it would be kind of scary taking that to the wildy and risking it very shortly. Hey guys, just doing a cheeky bit of smithing here between gargoyle tasks, making this gold ore into bars with the gauntlets, and there's 86 smithing on the account, which unlocks just some absolute garbage. Of course we are progressing slowly towards 90 smithing. Hey guys, here we are killing some hellhounds, and very shortly we'll be getting 91 strength coming in. There we go, 91, getting strong. Hey, there we go guys, on our first ever Necreal task now, we're almost 83 Slayer. Finally been assigned one, and we've finally received our rune boots. Currently wearing Addy, so these will be a nice +1 strength, I think. And then next level, of course, we'll unlock dragon boots. These Necreals are so crazy. There's 85 magic coming in. I've actually got 123k mage from this task alone. Hopefully we get a load more of these. Hey gamers, here we are, and this actual Bloodveld here will be the last one we need for 83 Slayer. So there it is, really cool level, but yeah, that's Spiritual Mages unlocked. So guys, as I mentioned earlier in the video, we'll just be arbitrarily pausing Slayer here at level 83. From level 78 that we started at in this video, it's been 2 solid weeks to get these 5 levels, and to get the next 4 levels to reach our goal of the Krakens and the Trident, it's probably going to be another 4 weeks of solidly slaying. So we're just going to take a really quick break for the sake of variety in the video. What I'm going to do is go into the wilderness. I've mentioned that a couple of times, but specifically what we need at the very bare minimum is to go and kill Chaos Fanatic, Crazy Archaeologist, and the King Black Dragon. They all have achievements in the combat diaries at the easy and medium tier that we're going to go after. King Black Dragon we need to kill 25 times, as well as kill him in a couple of different ways. And then for the Chaos Fanatic and the Crazy Archaeologist that are actually sat in the wilderness itself, it's only 10 KC and a couple of achievements for those guys. So we need to, at the very bare minimum, go do those. But what I'm also going to do is get the Wildy Diary achievements, easy, medium, and hard levels. Just because since we'll be in the Wildy anyway, we might as well just go do those if we're risking things anyway, because that will give us 3 lamps that we can put into Herblore. And then we're also going to do Mage Arena 2, just so we can get the best in slot Mage Cape, because again, we'll be in the wilderness anyway. And then finally, I'm hoping we'll have enough money left over from smithing to put some levels into our construction, so we can pass the bare minimum level to boost for the Jewelry Box 3, which requires 8 Rings of Wealth in order to build it, but you can only charge those Rings of Wealth up in the wilderness at the Fountain of Rune. So like I say, we want to do every wildy based thing on this account that we'll ever probably need to do all in one go. So we'll go do our combat achievements that require wilderness bosses, we'll kill all the bosses that we need to and do all the skilling that we need to for the wilderness diaries, easy, medium and hard, and then finally we'll make some Rings of Wealth, charge those in the wilderness, and then also get our Major Arena capes and all the music tracks in the wildy all in one go. So we're going to go have a crazy wilderness adventure. It's going to be kind of scary. Let's see what happens. Right guys, after about 5 skips and about 4 other random tasks we had to do, there's Black Dragons finally. So we're going to hang on to this task until we're done with skilling and we head to the Wildy and kill KBD. But for now, that's Slayer done with once again for a bit. Like I say, once we've been to the wilderness and done some other miscellaneous skilling, we will be back to go for 87 for the Trident, so we can actually do some maging at bosses. So with our Black Dragon task successfully got, we can use this on KBD when we go to the Wildy for some more accuracy and damage. Just one last thing I wanted to do was get a final Dark Totem piece to finish this second totem in the invent. So for this I headed to the Moss Giants in the Catacombs, because these guys also have a 1 in 150 chance of dropping a Mossy Key, of which we'd need at least 5 to do all the Bryo Fighter achievements for the easy and medium combat diaries, so we'd get 2 birds 1 stone basically by killing these guys. In the time it took to get the 1 Dark Totem, which is a 1 in 440, we ended up with 6 Mossy Keys and 7 Ranarr Seeds, so I was able to run around the game and replace all that useless Dwarf Weed with loads of potential prayer pots, which is really cool. Then with these Moss Giants done and our keys secured and our totem finished, we just got 92 strength at the Sand Crabs because we were close, and it's a nice round number, halfway to 99. And then I just knocked out another Hespori kill just because we had time to. Was rewarded with some White Lily Seeds, which are unique from here. They basically act as a flower that protects all the allotment patches nearby. Hey gamers, get a load of this. I'm about to get a Herblore level on the account, which never happens. There's 74 Herblore. Hey gamers, check it out, we're in Varrock's Sewer at the Bryo Fighter lair. I've got a whole bunch of stuff together here. A super restore for an anti-poison, a super attack, we've got our axe, we've got a Karambun pasted spear. What we're going to be doing is killing Bryo Fighter until we've used all 6 of these Mossy Keys. We only need to do 5 in theory for our combat tasks, but we are here to do all 6 just to free the invent space up. So what we'll be attempting right now is to kill Bryo Fighter once, kill her with Protect from Mage on, kill her without suffering any poison damage, and kill her with poison or venom being the last hit. And we'll also try and kill all her growthlings she summons within 3 seconds of each other, which is why I've changed the left click on this axe to use, because you have to click your axe and then click on them. In theory, the only ones we can't do on our first kill will obviously be 5 KC and kill her on a free-to-play world, but hopefully we can knock out all these others in a single kill, and then we can just focus on these other 2. So first thing we do is Protect Mage. We're just going to keep hitting her with the spear till we see a poison splat, then we know she's poisoned. We hit all these guys once each, so they're all on 1 HP. And then with that, we'll just quickly finish them all off real quick. Try and get that task knocked out. There we go, that's Quick Cutter. And then hopefully we'll just get another poison splat soon and the fight should be over. There we go, killed her with poison. And we got 1 KC, we took no poison damage. We got ourselves 100 nature runes from that, which is kind of nice. So like I say, we did every single one, apart from the 2 that we couldn't possibly do this kill. So I'll probably just run out and run back in a few times just to get like 4 KC maybe, and we'll save 2 keys, and we'll do 1 or 2 kills on the free-to-play world last, because we will need to re-gear for that. Obviously, none of our gear here will work on free-to-play. Hey, there we go. That should be 5 kills, so that should be our other combat task. Did actually get a mossy key on the previous kill as well. Couple of rune pieces there, so not bad loot, honestly. Right gamers, here we are on a free-to-play world. Here's the gear. A lot of these items won't work, like the cape and the glory and the boots and the ring and whatever, but we've got ourselves some maple shortbow, addy arrows and full green d'hide. I'm fairly sure this will be enough to win. I don't think it should be very hard at all. Because we've got 99 range, we can hit 18s while prayer's on, so we should just tear through this boss, honestly. And this will be the last Bryo fighter task if we can get this KC. We do have 1 more key that we may as well use, just because her unique drop is on the collection log. But there you go. 100 cosmics and fighting as intended completes. That's all the Bryo fighter tasks for both easy and medium combat achievements. And that's actually all the Bryo fighter tasks full stop, because there's no hard ones, so that's really good. So with all the Bryo fighter tasks complete, the next thing to do was use up our 2 dark totems and attempt to do some Skatizo combat achievements in the meantime. The problem was, guys, I actually failed both kills and had to teleport out. I'm going to be honest with you. I attempted both attempts with proselyte armor. I think you're supposed to wear magic defense like black d'hide, but the issue was I'd already got rid of our black d'hide and I didn't want to go kill 5 black dragons and eat into like a quarter of our black dragon slayer task that I was saving for King Black Dragon. So instead I just tried to brute force it in proselyte. I took too much damage, had to eat too much, and just had to teleport out both times. But that is fine, obviously. Like I say, I think we have over 1 million more Slayer XP to get, so in that time we'll definitely get more Catacombs tasks from Steve, and we'll definitely earn more Dark Totems after our Wilderness adventure. It's really not a rush. Right guys, it's time to get rid of our gear, go do the rest of our smithing. We've got 6.2 mil, I think I worked out it'd be about 5.2 mil to get to 90, and we've got a level since then, so it might be less than 5 mil, I don't know. But I'm just going to go do Addy and Myth plates, just to get to 90 so we can +1 and make rune crossbow limbs going forward. So as you know, we've got way more than enough points to buy pretty much everything in here, but what we are going to be doing is just buying the full Smith's outfit real quick, because we're going to be here for like 10 hours, so it's going to make a difference. I think I said it's like 10 to 15% quicker using the outfit, and Jagex have, since the last time we were here, added a feature where you can sell the outfit back to this guy for 80% of the cost. So we're basically just loaning it, pretty much. And here's the full set. It also has the benefit of not having a headpiece, so we can keep our Slayer helm equipped, which is really nice. If you do buy the sword, though, it does get added to Purdue, which is cool. And then the only other things we need to actually purchase are the ore pack, the smithing catalyst, and the double ammo mold, which are cheap and worthless. So we'll probably buy those once we're done with our little grind here. But yeah, I expect this to take sort of 2 or 3 days, 86 to 90. I'll reset the counter and we'll give it a proper good try and see what the rates are. Hopefully it's really, really fast, and hopefully we have some GP left at the end of it, so we can actually put some into construction before we head into the wilderness. Obviously the goal here is just to get rid of all our gear and spend all our coins, so we're risking as little as possible when we head into the wildy and attempt to do both the easy and medium and maybe hard wilderness diary, but also all the boss based tasks that we need for the combat achievements for the easy and medium level. Hey guys, there it is, 87 smithing, about 7 hours I think to get the 1.4 mil we need to get to 90, so yeah, see you there. Hey guys, with this sword here, this will be 88 smithing in theory. A really big level. Obviously this is the level to do the Lumbridge Elite Diary with no boost, which we've already done. But this is also the level to smith runite crossbow bolts, which is kind of useful. I've worked it out with our kind of max level and max molds. It's 2.39 GP XP to train this method with the Prif plates, which is really good. And we can reach up to 200k an hour if we pay perfect attention and we wear the full outfit and we get lucky with good molds. Otherwise it's anywhere as low as like 150 if we're kind of chilling and not really paying attention. So really insane speeds and actually quite affordable as well. 90 is the level for like Dragon Plate Bodies, Torva Armor, Arcane, Eladinis Wards, Dragonfire Shields, and Rune Arrow Tips. But after 91 there's literally nothing else you unlock. It's just full Rune Plate. There's not even any levels after 91 for any Elite Diaries or quests. So we will be stopping at 90 or 91 for sure. Even the smithing cape is completely useless for this account. It just counts as goldsmith gauntlets, which are already free for us to buy with family pest complete, and it also makes the coal bag better, which we can't use. But I do think for sure one day we'll get 99 smithing just for the cape and the flex, maybe in our journey to max, just because it is so easy and cheap to train. Anyway, see you in 2 levels. Hello everybody, I have in my hands what may be the final Giant's Foundry sword, at least I'm sure you're all hoping, on this account for a long time. So if I turn this in, there should actually be 90 smithing coming in on the UlM. You can now make rune skimmies or simmies. It can actually also make rune arrowheads, which is actually useful. And of course this is the level from which we can +1 boost with a very simple beer that we can buy from a number of pubs around the game for a guaranteed +1 and make the runite limbs, which are 91 smithing. That's also the level for rune javelin heads. That's a smithing out the way for a while. They've added a feature to this dude here where you can actually sell these uniques back for 80% of the points. Since we're done with the outfit, we will be attempting to sell this back if that is possible. I just want to see... Yeah, you just use it on him. I'm not sure about the gloves because we have... Oh, you can just dismantle those. So if we take a look at the shop now, we actually have 37,500 points, which is kind of crazy. But let's just get all those dopamine collection log pop-ups in the chat. Colossal Blade Ore Pack, Smithing Catalyst, Double Ammo Mold. So let's see if we can actually give this guy this ammo mold back, because this will be quite important. Wow, okay. So this is a really cool thing they've added, because they've added this refund thing to quite a lot of minigames. If you didn't know, you can also do this at Pest Control nowadays. So if I spend 2k points, for example, I can buy a double mold. I could use it to make like all the cannonballs I want, and then I could just come here and give it him back and get 1600 points. So really it only costs us 400 foundry points to essentially borrow this mold for a bit. And since we don't have a bank, that could be really useful. As you can see, the Giant's Foundry is now greened along with Temple Trekking and Fishing Trawler. It's not the most impressive mini-games page, but I'm sure we'll greenlog some more of them in the future. So as you can see now, if you go to Purdue at any point, you should have the Colossal Blade for 300k, and also in the last couple of weeks, they've added both the Dwarven Helmet from, you know, the Beanstalk quest, and also the Neats to this shop, even though it's a lot more expensive than if you go all the way to Nate's Knot, so can pick that up here if we need to. But the Colossal Blade is in his shop. Ah, right, okay. So you actually can't give him the Colossal Blade back, which is cool. It's understandable that that's how it works. Jagex, why do you do this? Why do you give things a high alch value and then make it so you can't alch them? It's the same with the new Keres Partisan, they keep doing it. What we're going to do next, I believe, is go do construction, so we'll make a bit more space, rejig things, maybe move our house, maybe buy some more telly runes, get a hammer saw, a rune axe, all those things. But yeah, I guess we'll just be doing teak plank contracts. I remember saying it was worse than oak planks. Maybe we get like 60k an hour here if we pay attention. But we don't have the Ring of the Elements, so we don't really have much choice. Basically, the long and the short of it is we're going to use all our coins up now on construction to get rid of all our coins, because we still need, I think, 84 construction for a maxed house. And specifically we would like at least 83 construction, because that's the minimum level to do the +8 boost and make the jewelry box 3. Right guys, with this contract here we should have 81 construction, which means 3 more levels till we're pretty much done with this skill pretty much forever. Hey guys, here's finally another hunter level. There's 78 from Birdhouse Run. That means 2 more we can actually go tackle Herbivore, which I am thinking about doing at some stage just because it's a really good way to get herbs. We will still be passively trading this obviously when we can do Birdhouse Runs. It's just actually not that efficient because sometimes we don't have the inventory space to actually do one of these. But I thought just before I jump into construction today we'd go do one, so that's cool. Hey everybody, guess what? We're about to get a level up. Can you imagine recording a clip for a level up? What a crazy concept. But this is 82 construction, I believe, which is really cool because, as you know, the highest construction boost is a +8, so we can now make a bunch of stuff that requires 90 construction. Primarily, we're talking about the HP healing pool, but we obviously still need 87 Herblore to be able to make the anti-venoms to actually make that one. And then we can also make the Occult Spellbook Altar, which is the spellbook altar in our house with all 3 spellbooks in it. So 2 more levels here if we can afford it with our cash. Looks like we should be able to. And then we'll have, you know, the range to be able to do the maximum boost to make the maximum POH. Hey guys, time for a little bit of an upgrade to the house. Now as you may remember, we've got the Guardians of the Rift pet and we've also got Rocky the Thieving pet. And currently we've only got the Oak pet house in here, which only stores up to 3 pets. And I'm feeling confident about the future of this account. I think we'll end up with more than 1 more pet at some stage. At the very least we'll be getting Chompy Chick one day because that's pretty much a guaranteed pet. So just while we have planks on us and the construction level, we're just going to throw a couple of upgrades into this. I'm not going to go out of my way and buy this magic stone for the consecrated house, but if we do in fact upgrade upgrade from the oak through to the teak, and then finally up to the mahogany house. Instead of 3 pets now, this cool looking house can store up to 7, so we are set for pets going forward. Once again, we're not storing any functional pets in our house like the pet rock outside of that one time for the diary or the cat or anything, but for purely cosmetic pets I did make an exception for storage on this account, just because it is nice to see your little pets walking around your house and they don't provide any function to your actual character. So back to Mahogany Homes contracts, see you later. Hey everybody, here we are in Prif, chopping teaks, and there's 81 woodcutting. Always nice to get another woodcutting level, because obviously every level you get increases the chance of you successfully chopping trees. There's no actual unlocks between 75 and 99 woodcutting, except for the redwoods at 90. For those other 23 levels, there's absolutely nothing that you unlock, which is kind of a shame, but the forestry woodcutting update is due to come out later this year, so I imagine they'll be filling some of these massive gaps with some new trees, new equipment, new buffs, things like that, so it is good to get more woodcutting levels now. If you're interested, we're averaging around 20k woodcutting XP an hour, chopping these teaks here, just making them into planks and using them for construction, so it is pretty much completely passive woodcutting XP, so that's really nice. Hey everybody, there's 83 construction. That means we've got 1 level more to go. We've still got 900k and we've got 278,000 XP to gain. We'll be relatively close to having no cash left when this level's done, which is the goal. This level should take us like another 4 to 5 hours. But yeah, going to keep grinding away and then off to PVM finally. And then when we are back from the wilderness, we will take a look at potentially getting some of the POH upgrades that we will have unlocked, but a lot of them are very expensive and will have no money. Hey everybody, here I am doing construction. As you can see, less than 100k left till our goal of 84. Just thought I'd show off a full run, just because I'm not sure if I've shown it in previous episodes or not. But here's what we're doing. We've got a rune axe equipped. We've got noted steel bars that we've got from the actual Mahogany Homes reward points. The crates are 25 each, so I've just been spending all our contract points on these crates. So what we do with our spirit tree, I've moved it right next to the portal in our house, so it's closer than back here. We use the spirit tree number 6, which takes us to the tree that's naturally in Prif. Now you may notice that my Prif looks a little bit bare. I'm using a plugin literally just called Prifdinus, and it gets rid of a lot of the trees in town just to make it easier to click around. Now they still have their collision boxes, so you end up like running around invisible trees, but it just means you can see and click on things a lot easier. What I'm doing is I'm getting a full invent of logs. I've obviously still got some planks left over from the last one because it was quite a low plank contract we just did, but I'll get a full invent -1, and then that last space we'll use to unnote a single steel bar, because at most for any of these contracts you need 1 steel bar, so just bring 1 with us and then the rest is 16 planks. If you're really unlucky, there's a particular contract in Varrock which can actually require 17 planks, but since it's just that 1 contract and it's not every time because there's different configurations of furniture you have to make for each house, it's a very low chance. So I'm just doing 16, talk to this guy who's a sawmill, we turn them all into teak planks for 500 GP each. Then what I'll do is head over to Falador. Now sometimes, depending on where the contract's located, there'll be an estate agent really near the house, for example North Hasidius, so I'll just grab a contract straight away after finishing the house. But if not, then we go to Falador, and then once picking up a contract I'll use this bank most of the time, just to grab the steel bar unnoted in this last space. We'll run over to wherever it is. So we didn't use our steel bar here, so I won't need to unnote one next time. And with that contract complete, we've spoken to the person, got the 2,000 construction reward, then I'll just teleport to our house again, use the spirit tree again, option 6 to Prifdinus, straight back to those trees, straight back to the sawmill, and then just rinse repeat. We can get into the high 70k's of XP an hour. And obviously, like I say, if we ever do come back and go 499 construction, using a method like this where we do chop our own trees, then I'll absolutely go get a dragon axe first from the DKs, probably safe spot the melee guy with mage, which is what Iron Men tend to do. Hey again everybody, here we are in Hasidius, building this, I think, final house for 84 construction. We'll have suitably used up our cash stack in order to have the lowest risk possible for going into the wilderness next, to do our wildy diaries and some combat achievements. So there we go, 84 construction. Obviously with that level we can +8 boost and make all the functionally useful things in our house that exist, except for the combined spirit tree and fairy ring, which requires 90 construction. But we don't need that because we have a separate spirit tree and fairy ring. I think it cost us about 1.8 mil to get from 80 to 84 there, and it took probably 11 or 12 hours. So yeah, yeah, that's the kind of GP and XP rates for those interested. Okay guys, weird one. We're in the Yanal Agility Dungeon, and we're going to go attempt to kill some Salarin the Twisted. Now this guy is a real old NPC, maybe you've seen him in a Mr. No Sleep video, maybe you've tried this before, but he has like a 1 in 12 chance to drop a key that opens a chest full of noted herbs. It's kind of an interesting concept, because if we do kill this guy and get the key, then you're guaranteed about 30k worth of noted herbs, and it's the same every time. So like I say, we're getting stuff together now to do KBD. There we go, that's our first Sinister key on, I think, 3kc or something there. So here's all the stuff you get from one Sinister chest. As you can see, it's really good, like I say. 3 Renars, Irit, Avanto, Torstal, Quam, and Haralander. And then we also got a Guam from the guy himself. So really good stuff to say it's only a like 1 in 12 or 1 in 13 to get one of these keys. It could be a good method just to really quickly grab potions. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next clip while we'll be gearing up to fight a big dragon. Hey, there we go, Lanterdime Seed on the floor. I will make sure that we plant this in one of the patches that cannot die. I think the only one available is Weiss currently. On our last trip I got 2 Snapdragon Seeds, which is really cool because that's 2 crops of Super Restores. Okay gamers, here we are in Lovakenge. If you've done the Korend Diary, which of course we've done up to the hard level, because we've done all the hard diaries except the Wilderness, you can claim 40 free dynamite per day, and you don't even need a pickaxe to come do this method. We're going to go try some Blast Mine. As long as you're 75 or above mining here, you have a chance to receive a rune ore. And if we also pull some coal as well, then that's just a bonus. As you can see, I've been here before, so I've done a little tile marker here just to remind myself how to play. And basically, you just put dynamite in the wall, and then you move, and you put more dynamite in the wall, and you get mining and fire making XP. And then what you do is you pick up this blasted ore, kind of like the Motherlode Mine unidentified ore, and then you chuck it in this thing behind us and it'll wash it, and then you go to the end and claim it, just like Motherlode Mine, and you get some ore out of it. You can come do it, like I say, with just a chisel and a tinderbox, which we can get for free from our house. We can claim 40 dynamite per day for free. Otherwise, you can buy it from the guy, and it's a little bit expensive per one. As you can see, we've already got 1 rune ore and 2 coal, so we could already stop doing this, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, Blast Mine's just one of the ways we can now get our rune crossbow back. That should be a lot quicker than killing 26 deranged archaeologists over on Fossil Island, which of course also requires a bunch of mage gear and prayer potions and supplies to actually kill. So a little bit of an account upgrade here. It would be nice if we did just have the 85 mining to just go mine like the rune ore in the Myths Guild or something, but it is really hard to level mining. It's like 40k an hour. I just don't think it's worth that many hours to go get 9 mining levels just to make it easier to get our rune crossbow back. Hey guys, here we are in Witch Haven just to do the RD Elite step to make a rune crossbow from scratch, quote unquote, from in and around RD. So we can use this spinning wheel on a sinew that we've already made. We also brought the U log. You don't even need to chop the U round here, so it's not really from scratch to be honest, but whatever you say, game. Drink this, click this, find the limbs before our boost disappears, make a U stock, and then pop the string on, and there's rune crossbow completed and an RD elite task. Like I say, the rest of the elite tasks are super high level, but it is nice to just do them when we can. So it's going to be ages till we do this elite diary, but there's 1 step done and our rune crossbow done. I should probably get black d'hide, but I do have a 19 black dragon task at the moment, and I don't want to go kill 5 black dragons really to make full black d'hide and waste a quarter of our task. But yeah, this is the gear pretty much. Oh, right guys, probably as ready as I'll ever be for one attempt at the KBD. Just gonna scout it on my other account real quick, make sure there's no naughty characters around. I've just got a DDS to attempt to get the last hit with a stab weapon for that one achievement. I've also made sure to have enough coins on me to have 50k so we can pay for a private room. I really don't think it's a very good idea to do bosses in multi as an Iron Man, not inside an instance. And I believe all we do is we protect melee. But yeah, there's a couple of combat achievements here. There's one to kill him with a anti-fire shield and an anti-fire potion on at the same time. And there's another one to kill him with protect melee up. And there's another one to kill him with a stab weapon. So if we swap to stab at the end of this kill, we should get all 3 of those challenges in one go. And I think the only other things you have to do here are actually just get 25 kills and 10 kills. So we'll need to come back and get 25 KC. I did actually forget Antidote. I was going to get one when I logged in and I forgot. We do have like 10 sharks, so hopefully we can kill him. We'll just walk under and get a little bit of health back. So we're about to take an 8, but that's what you get for not having anti-poison. So our max hit's 41 apparently, so hopefully we don't just hit a 41 and straight up kill him. Right, that's good. Let's try stabbing him now if we can, and then we'll have got a couple of achievements in one go. There we go. Hide penetration, kill him with a stab, and anti-fire protection and claw clipper. So there we go, that's our first KBD kill in the bag. So yeah, 3 combat achievements. As far as I'm aware, like I say, the only 2 we have left now are actually to kill him 25 times and kill him 10 times. Right, we're back. Now one thing, it does cost 50k per instance, so for 25 kills, I don't know how many instances we're going to need, it might be quite a lot. I don't really want to go in the non-instance version, because it's just a waste of our time. Obviously you're safe in here, it's not PvP in this room, but it's just like if someone accidentally hops in, if they're just hopping worlds trying to get fast kills, or if they're walking in to do that master clue and KBD hits them with a ranged attack, then it ruins your entire kill. So I don't really want to waste time and supplies in the uninstance room. Probably going to end up needing a lot of money to get this full KBD achievement thing done, but you know, it is what it is. There are some cool uniques obviously from KBD. Of course there's the pet, there's a dragon pickaxe which we don't really need. The visage, I guess, it's like a 1 in 5k, and dragon med. Right, I had to tell you at 5kc, which means we got a 4 kill trip. So we're going to have to go resupply anyway. We're going to need to go dig up some herbs, make another anti-fire, and then unnote some more prayer pots and stuff. Probably going to need to go make money for this. I didn't even consider that. If we get 4 or 5 kill trips, then it's going to be a couple of 100k to get these 25. So that's not something I considered. So maybe we'll go make some GP and then head straight back up. But yeah, pretty decent. We can kill it. It's just obviously not the most impressive gear in the world. Don't know if it's worth going to get this Shazian Boots 5. I think they're like 4 or 5 range bonus. The climbing boots are providing nothing. Yes, it's back to the Shazian combat ring again. Hey everybody, got our full Shazian 5. Was only going for the boots, but I just realised there is actually an easy combat task to kill a Lizardman Shaman without taking any damage, so we might as well grab the full Shazian 5 while we're already getting the boots and just attempt to do this. I think if we just drink antidote and just like shoot it and move, I think we'll be okay. Now I have actually taken some damage, as you can see, but for those of you not in the know, if you come to these Lizardmen in this room, you actually go through a door that does damage to you. That's why most people fight them in the first room over there. But there we go, that's a Lizardman Shaman dead, and a random combat task out of the way. So there's actually not very much left for easy. It's a couple of like mole kills, obor kills, and of course the 10 KBD kills that we are here to do, but this was just a little bit of a diversion because we were in the neighbourhood pretty much, and we did have the armour set on us. There we go, 10 KBD. But I need to go resupply again now. It's going to take a while to get 25. Just in between trips here, got a 5 kill trip that time. We've done 3 trips currently, and we've got 10 out of our 25 kills, so we might need another 3 or so. So we'll definitely need to go make some more GP at some stage, but we do have enough coins for another instance, so we will just go back again. Still got some lanterdimes in the ground for more anti-fires, but I am just fishing and cooking some anglers to make sure we have the best possible food, so our trips last as long as possible. And here's the end of a 7 kill trip over to King Black Dragon, ending on 17 kills. Got a few nice drops here, as you can see, one of each kind of dragon range piece, so dragon javelin heads, dragon arrow tips, dragon dart tips. So I think this trip probably made enough money to pay for the 50k room, which is cool. Right guys, another trip complete, 22 King Black Dragons killed, 3 left, but we now don't have a Slayer task. So I'm going to go straight back to Steve, see if we can roll another Black Dragon task back to back, or if we have any points for skips. We've got 700, so we'll probably pull Black Dragons again, and then we'll use that just to round this task off, get our 25kc, and that'll be the last King Black Dragon achievement, and then we can go have a look at what other achievements we have to do in the wilderness. Hey guys, I know, I said I wouldn't be back here again, but we're back at the Foundry. I went back to Steve to try and get another Slayer task for Black Dragons, in terms of Slayer task waiting. I think it's like the 3rd most likely task from him with our current Slayer block list. And like, yeah, I ended up skipping so many tasks, like 10, didn't end up with Black Dragons still, so I just did a gargoyle task, and as usual, I'm here using up these smithing supplies just to get rid of them and get the most smithing XP out of them as possible. So that's what I'm currently doing. Just wanted to shout out this dude here, Zeb Striker or whatever, another UlM, almost maxed, got himself a Tumacan Shadow, a KQ pet, he's living the dream. Hopefully that'll be us in like a year or 2. Oh boy guys, I spent the whole day skipping tasks to try and get another Black Dragon task for like the last 2 or 3 KBD. I've spent like 800 points, so we've skipped like 25 tasks, and Black Dragons are the 3rd highest chance task to get from Steve. We've been utterly scammed, and now we're completely out of Slayer points. That kind of sucks. And we do have a hard clear, so let's see what we get. Whoa, a Cyclops head. Hell yeah, it was all worth it. So after being utterly scammed by Steve and not pulling his third highest Slayer task, which is Black Dragons, for like a full day, I just went and sent a trip without being on task. Obviously could have done this the whole time, but I did just want to make it as smooth as possible. And we managed to knock out the last 3 kills and get the King Black Dragon 25 KC combat achievement. So that's now all the King Black Dragon achievements done for the easy and medium combat diaries, which is really, really awesome. We'll be moving on to other wilderness stuff while we're here. Hey guys, so one thing we can just do now, real quick, while we're already geared for fighting dragons, is really quickly go kill a single brutal black dragon here in the Catacombs of Kourend, just because you need to kill one for the medium combat diaries, which is our ultimate goal at the moment. First thing I'm going to do is just run into the centre of the Catacombs, then climb up this vine, and this opens this back door from Loverkenge, so we can teleport with our Xerix amulet or our future mounted Xerix, and then we can go down this hole, and we can have access to the brutal blacks. But yeah, as long as you just keep an anti-fire potion up, an anti-fire shield, and protect from mage, and don't stand in melee range of these guys, then you do in fact take no damage, as you can see. We don't actually need our anglerfish at the minute, because the next place we're going is Chaos Fanatic, so I'm happy to use all these up, because we do need to replace this food with some kind of food that when eaten will leave an item in our inventory, like a pie dish or a bowl. But yeah, just going to kill one of these right now for the medium combat achievement, and then we'll move on to whatever we're doing next. Hey guys, imagine making your own curry from scratch. I love accounts like this. You just end up doing weird, stupid stuff. It's a little bit of work to make a full invent, but it's certainly worth it, because we need to have no spaces so nothing gets unequipped. I will probably go swap this anti-dragon shield for the red unholy book as well for the range stats. Really not looking forward to having to do 10 Chaos Fanatic, because it's a super heavy PK hotspot, but you know, we'll see what happens. So here we are at the Chaos Fanatic. Pretty simple boss in terms of mechanics. You just pray mage against him and you do your range pray. You just shoot ranged attacks at him and make sure your invent's full so he can't unequip any of your gear, which is obviously why we brought the curries. And then every now and again he'll just do a green attack, which is similar to the crazy and deranged archaeologist attack. You just have to move a little bit and then continue shooting him. The real danger of this boss is because we're right between the Gorok Telly, the Obelisk, the King Black Dragon Lair, the Burning Amulet Telly spot, and of course the Chaos Altar where everyone comes to PK and do their bone training. So it's really like the perfect triangle to get PK'd. Okay, that's a trip. I got 5 kills without dying. Just need that again, I'm done. Hey gamers, so what I'm thinking, I've got a ton of cash in my invent because obviously I couldn't get the Black Dragon task, but now we finished KBD, I don't need it anymore. I'm just thinking, maybe it's worth dropping 750k on this crystal shield, because I've got 900k on me, and if I die I lose everything anyway. Never really used the crystal shield, but I think I will pick it up, like I say, just for a switch, just for a little bit more defense. It may end up saving our life. Also, what I was doing is just keeping an eye on it when the boss respawned on my main, and as soon as I got a kill, I would just log off on my UIM and just wait for it to respawn, so I was stood in the world at risk for as little time as possible. Throughout this little grind, I did see one other player who definitely scouted me. It was kind of funny. I did manage to get the log and escape, but as soon as I tallied back up or logged back in on my main just to check if he was still there, he was right there in PK gear, exactly where I'd logged out, and he immediately jumped me on the main, which is why it's very important to scout these things, otherwise I definitely would have died on my Ultimate Iron Man. And with that narrow escape, I hopped worlds, hid my world on both characters, and we just did the last couple of kills to get the 10 KC at the Fanatic. Now for the combat achievements in the Wilderness, for some reason the KBD requires more KC. It's 25 for the medium level, whereas the other Wilderness bosses we need to attempt are only 10 KC, which is kind of a blessing because they do take place in the Wilderness itself. So with Chaos Fanatic complete, the next thing I wanted to do was one of the Wilderness regular achievements for the Hard Diary. There's an achievement where you have to kill the Chaos Fanatic, the Crazy Archaeologist, and Scorpia back to back without doing any other progress towards any other achievements in between, otherwise it resets. I didn't want to go get an 11th Chaos Fanatic kill because it's really dangerous over there, so I just went over to Scorpia next, and then with a Scorpia kill I'd go over to Crazy Archaeologist next, which we also needed to get 10 KC at anyway, so I figured this was the most efficient route. This was probably the most scuffed boss attempt I've ever done if you don't count the Scatizos that I failed the other day. I went inside, I was freezing Scorpia, running around the room. I didn't bring anti-poison, and for those of you not in the know, Scorpia has maybe the strongest poison in the game. As soon as I got in, it told me that Iron Men won't get kill credit if someone else has done damage. There was no one around and Scorpia was at full health, so I assumed the message was a glitch. Maybe that I'd ice barraged one of the small minions next to Scorpia, it had done some damage to it, and the game thought that damage had come from another player. so I just persevered with the whole kill anyway, which took a while and drained a whole bunch of my health and supplies thanks to the poison. It turns out I didn't get the kill credit because obviously someone must have come here in the last like half an hour and hit it once, so that was really, really annoying. I had to kill Scorpia twice. In the meantime, I was ticking down horrendously. I couldn't manage to kill the little scorpion healer things. I did try and freeze them and run Scorpia away, but in the end I ended up just brute forcing and killing the healers, in which time the second Scorpia KC that I did managed to heal to full health, so I effectively had to kill Scorpia 3 times here to get this kill count, and the whole time I was ticking down to 20s from poison, so it was really, really scuffed. I very nearly died. We got the KC and I managed to just get out of the room and run. I had to follow my main because I didn't bring a slash weapon on this character. I had to keep logging out like the web and the lever, and I managed to just keep logging, and like I took the aggro on the hellhounds on my main so they wouldn't hit me and put me in combat so I wouldn't be able to log out, and I just did all this kind of jank as I ran to the lever, and the poison finally killed me the very tick I teleported to Ardone, which was actually okay because of course we spawn in Prif. I just ran through my house portal, went to the spirit tree inside to the battlefield of Khazard and just ran north, and all my stuff was just on the ground there, but I was so close to actually dying in the wilderness from this scuffed boss. But it's really good to have this one out the way. There's no combat achievements for this, it's purely just the 1 KC for the Wildy Hard Diary, so I don't think we'll ever be back. Oh, guys, that was a cheeky close one back at Scorpia there, but as you saw, I did manage to die in Ardy to the Scorpia poison. The next thing we're going to do is go and do 1 crazy archaeologist kill. Now, one of the worries I have is we've not actually done Wildy easy or medium, so I don't want to accidentally do any of these things on my way there. For example, don't refill our prayer, or don't like Anacol Telly, or do any of these things that we might do by accident that will reset this particular achievement we're going for and mean we'll have to go back to Chaos Fanatic and Scorpia again, because those 2 bosses are really scary. So if we can go do 1 crazy archaeologist kill, this should be crossed off, which will be really, really cool, and then all we need to do is have a look at the rest of the combat achievements we have left in the wilderness. All we need to do is kill him 10 times. He also has 2 other achievements, but you always will do these every single kill. Kill him without being hit by his special attack, so you just move out of the way, exactly the same as Chaos Fanatic, and then kill him with Mage, which we're going to do for every kill. So we'll very easily knock both of these out before we get 10 KC. So then there's actually nothing left in the wilderness for our combat achievements after this, so technically we could be done, but since we're already risking it all in the wilderness anyway, we are going to attempt to do the regular wilderness diary all the way up to hard. As long as we've killed the Chaos Ellie and done this other one to kill all these 3 bosses, the worst thing we need to kill is like a spiritual warrior and a lava dragon, and then we will have to go do the Mage Arena 1 as well, which we will also be working towards. So here it is, probably the easiest boss in the wilderness, the Crazy Archaeologist. Completely brainless, very low level Iron Men do this to get their first rune crossbow traditionally. We're just here for 10 KC and 2 achievements. Got the first 2 achievements on the first kill, just because like I say they're pretty much free, just dodge his attack and kill him with Mage. I was using Ice Burst because we were already geared for Ancients from doing Scorpia a bit ago, so I just came and killed him with runes for that. You just pray range and just move occasionally. At one point we did actually run out of runes, so I had to leave, do a little bit of a detour, go just do some rune crafting for a while, and then come back and finish this off because we did run out of money, and casting ancient spells is quite expensive. But yeah, other than that, a very uneventful 10 KC, just come here, occasionally sip on prayer, and just kill him. Right guys, quick one just for one of the Wilderness Diaries here. We need to head into the Chaos Altar, which we can do through this tunnel from the What Lies Below quest in Varrock. Got ourselves one of these talismans from the Chaos Golems under Ice Mountain. Also got some of these Chaos Cores which are worth 10 essence each, so I thought I'd bring these along. Just turn them into Chaos Runes because we will already be here, so there's really no reason not to. Gamers, there it is, 10 Crazy Archaeologist. Also managed to pull a muddy key from the last kill of that, which we actually need for one of the achievements to open the muddy chest. But that's cool. We've got that sorted, so we'll just keep that in the pocket. So there's a medium task to kill an Anku as well. Some sweet running around the wildy, knocking off all the easy and medium and hard tasks. Right guys, that's entering the Wildy God Wars dungeon, killing a spiritual warrior and killing a Bloodveld. And next up I just ran around doing a whole bunch of other tasks in the wilderness, pretty much always following my main to scout ahead and being as safe as possible. We went and killed a lava dragon, we recharged our prayer at the ancient ruins, we did a low alch at the Fountain of Rune, we killed an Ent, we killed a mammoth, we killed a green dragon. I left to Mauritania to make an oil thing, to make an oily fishing rod, came back and we fished up a lava eel at the lava maze while we were already there to do the muddy chest from the muddy key we got from the archaeologist, and then we dipped to gear up for the Chaos Ellie. Hey, nice. So the Chaos Elemental's fairly simple. If you can flinch in behind a tree, you can do this without taking any damage, but obviously your kills will take ages, and you're more likely to be set upon by PKers, so we didn't go with that method. We're only here for 1 KC. None of the combat achievements I'm really too bothered about either, because they are higher than the easy or medium level, so we're literally just here for a kill, and then we're going to dip. Just made curries again, same as with the Chaos Fanatic, because we need food that will leave an item in our invent, otherwise he unequips your gear, and otherwise, yeah, it was a fairly straightforward procedure. So with Chaos Ellie down, we re-geared and we went to do a couple more achievements while heading up to the Mage Bank. Just really quickly prayed at the Chaos Temple. No one was there, so it was kind of uneventful. And then we just walked up to the Wildy course, which someone was doing, which was kind of spooky. But we just did a single lap for the achievement and then ran off to Mage Bank to prep for Mage Arena 1. So, Mage Arena 1 is a wilderness-only mini-quest that takes place, as you might imagine, at the Mage Arena. It's probably one of the most simple quests in the game. It's probably quicker, honestly, than even doing Family Pest. All you have to do is talk to a guy inside the Mage Bank, he teleports you into the Mage Arena next door, and then you just have to defeat his 5 forms with only Mage. I didn't actually bring any Mage gear, but I just decided to unequip my D-hides and just Mage him anyway. But yeah, just unequipping our armor and just eating the rest of our curries and just hitting him with Mage spells was enough. Really, really easy mini-quest. Of course, this unlocks the Mage Cape 1, which has 10 in magic attack and magic defense, so it's a really, really good cape, and like I say, you can rebuy this from Purdue outside of the wilderness in future, so it's actually a huge unlock for our account. So with the Mage Arena 1 mini-quest complete, I could finally do one of the achievements, which is to cast one of the god spells you unlock at the end on another player, so of course I just really quickly went and cast this on myself in the Mage Arena, but while there I did decide to unlock all the spells for use outside the arena, just in case one day we'd need them. This just requires you to cast each of these new god spells 100 times each, on either the NPCs in here or players, but it doesn't matter if you splash, so I just get my D-hides on for better defense, and not to kill the NPCs too quickly. I did manage to unlock the Saradomin Strike, but I did have to leave and make some more money to buy more blood runes in order to unlock the Guthix and Zami spells, just because it is quite expensive to cast 100 casts of each of these. Plus we'd need some more money for some more casts if we wanted to go and do Mage Arena 2. So what I did is I just nipped off to really quickly do a Slayer task, came back, finished the 100 casts of all 3 spells, and then we set out to do Mage Arena 2. So with a little bit of money in our pocket, it was time to go and do the Mage Arena 2. Now this one's a lot harder than the Mage Arena 1. Instead of just fighting a single boss quite near the Mage Bank, you need to venture out around the Wildy and actually search for 3 different bosses, and you have to basically take damage each time you use this locator item that the Collodion gives you. So you end up using quite a few of your supplies and your run energy while just looking for the bosses. Now these bosses have a couple of special mechanics. The first one I did was probably the hardest, the Ent guy for Guthix. This guy occasionally during the fight will become invincible and drop these seeds on the ground that you have to instead kill. They take a couple of hits to kill, and he continues to attack you while you're attacking those. But this guy was also located right outside the Revenant Caves on the way to Lava Dragons, so it was really, really scary having to fight this guy here. He did take us quite low as well, but I did manage to utilise a tree that was nearby in order to just kind of semi-flinch him or hide behind and eat, so it made the fight a little bit more possible. But yeah, we probably did the hardest one first, which was kind of scary. Each of these bosses that we did, I went and just handed in the god item at the end back to Collodion each time, because you can just turn them in one at a time, which is obviously keeps them safe. The next 2 bosses are fairly easy in comparison. There's a Zami Demon who basically when he does his special attack, you just need to run away a bit and then it doesn't do any damage to you. And then for the Saradomin Justicia boss, occasionally he fires a shockwave that drags you into melee range of him. As long as you move a single tile while the shockwave's in the air, then it doesn't hit you and doesn't drag you in, and then it's just the same fare as the others. You just pray Mage and you just hit him with the relevant god spell with the relevant god cape and staff equipped. And then with all these 3 bosses dead, I turned in their remains to Collodion, but then clicked out of the dialogue on purpose, so we didn't actually complete the Mage Arena 2. We still had to go through his dialogue thanking us basically and choosing our god cape, just so we could select a god cape when we were completely done with the wilderness, so we could safely bring it out and not be PK'd with it while running around doing the other things we still had left to do. All in all, quite a scary quest, but I think the best thing to do for this one is bring the best food you can, so we brought minnows and karambwans. I brought a Lumbridge ring for some run energy, and I actually stayed in full D-hides instead of mage accuracy gear. So with the Mage Arena 1 and 2 finished, and all of our easy and medium combat achievements that take place in the wilderness also complete, all I had left to do was finish a few miscellaneous tasks for our wilderness diary. Obviously we're just going for the hard level. What I did is I just grouped together all the remaining tasks that we had left into like little locations. So first off, I got the items together to go into the resource area and do every resource area based achievement. Fairly sure all we need to do is mine an iron ore, a myth ore, and then also smith a addy sim and a gold helmet. So I brought all the items as well as some GP for the entry fee, and just went and knocked all those out in one go, just to reduce risk and reduce the number of trips. And then finally, all the achievements we had left took place in the Edgeville dungeon. I saved all these for last. So just went inside, killed an earth warrior, picked up a few red spider's eggs, and charged both the orbs that are in there. I think it's the earth orb and the air orb that take place in that dungeon. Very, very safe. No PKers here, unless you're a paid actor in a framed video. And then with all those complete, we had all the wilderness diaries done up to hard, so I simply went to the Edgeville guy and turned in all of those. So it was really cool being able to turn in the easy, medium, and hard diaries all in one go like this. I've never done that before on this game. We got ourselves a total of 22.5k XP in Herblore, which is always welcome, but isn't very much at this stage of the account. And all we get really in terms of rewards is a reclaimable sword that always chops webs and has one daily teleport to the Fountain of Rune. But we will be using that teleport a little bit later on once we've got our Rings of Wealth together to make our jewellery box. So we will be dipping out of the wilderness now briefly, finding ourselves at least 8 dragon stones to make our Rings of Wealth, and then 8 more dragon stones to make 8 glories. Hello everybody, so we're back here in the Zolcano lair, currently going for our 16 dragon stones we're going to need. I guess it could technically be 14 for our jewellery box 3 because we do have a glory and a Ring of Wealth on us that we could unequip and charge, but I think the best place in the game for us currently to get dragon stones per hour is Zolcano on the Mass World. You don't have to do a huge amount of work to get a KC. I've kind of nailed the method really, and I'll show it through this game. It's a little bit leechy and I do feel bad. But the issue is, obviously, I don't have Graceful. Not only do I not have Graceful, I weigh like 40 kilos because I'm wearing armour, and I also don't have access to Staminas quite yet. I guess I could technically find some Avantos, plant them, then do Thieving to make a Botanical Pie boost, and then make Staminas doing some Rooftop Core slaps, but that's a lot of work just to do a couple of Zolcanos to get these Dragon Stones, so I'm not going to be doing that right now. But really, what I've discovered, what we can do, I've got a plugin here that shows you your contribution, so really, as soon as I get green numbers in both shield and health damage, that means you've done enough damage this boss kill to be eligible not only for a KC but also a roll on the unique table. So really, as soon as I hit the bare minimum health damage and shield damage in here, I do just kind of AFK and just move out of the way of like falling rocks and those damaging circles. If I don't do this, then I can get 1 kill trips, whereas if I do this, I can stay here pretty much indefinitely, just let my run recharge during the fight, and then I'll have enough run for the next one. It is really bad, but like I say, I'm only going to do this till we've got enough dragon stones, and then we will leave and stop being a filthy leech. Obviously, if you get less contribution points, you do get less loot, but it does seem like the loot here is kind of low anyway. Outside of doing this method, it is a case of literally leaving, teleporting home after each kill, filling our run, teleporting back to Prif with our Prif Crystal, running back in here, and then getting in every other kill. So we'd literally be getting half the kills an hour if I didn't kind of AFK leech like this. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm going to be doing for our Dragon Stones. Like I say, 8 of these are for Rings of Wealth, and then the other 8 of these are for Glories. And we will need to head back into the wilderness. Rest in peace, Shio RS, a true hero. I worked it out, if I went back to Gorax for the crystal key halves to get full crystal keys and then get the dragon stones out of the Tavley chest, it's about 1 dragon stone an hour doing it that way, which was okay the last time we did it. Oh, I did a perfect Zolcano, imagine that. So yeah, the crystal chest was good last time we did a jewelry box because you need a lot less. I think it was like 4 and 4 dragon stones, it was only like 8. So it was only like 8 hours of doing Gorax to get all those, but it's certainly going to be faster here, getting a 1 in 18 drop of a number of them noted. And then the final 2 things we have left in the wilderness, there's one more thing that I'm not really sure whether I'm going to do or not, is the music tracks. There's 2 left that I haven't got. I checked the list in the wilderness. There's the Wilderness Slayer Cave, which is probably doable because it's quite near the Corp lair. I think it's under 30 wild as well, so I could probably just walk inside and immediately seed pod out and get the music track. But the other music track we need is the Revenant Cave music track, which is kind of scary. Kind of torn on whether we should go for the music tracks, but I'll decide that at the very end of our wilderness adventure here. Guys, not being funny, but my man here is in Prif with a Varrock Plate Body 1. I don't even know how that's possible. Hey guys, there we go, that's like 3 hours of Zolcano and like almost 2 yesterday. As you can see, I didn't actually get a KC. For some reason there's like, it's midday weekday and there's so many like maxed sweats here trying their arse off. And if you don't know how the Zolcano group worlds are, you're competing with your team basically to do enough damage to just get a kill count. And with our gear, I can't keep up. We have come out with some stuff though. I've got 260 odd diamond bolts equipped and nearly 1,000 more addy bolts. But I do think we're going to swap now for a bit. Go get some rune arrows and head to the Gorak plane and just safe spot some of them for a while, because Volcano is just not feasible. It's too busy. I was managing perfectly well yesterday in like the first 2 hours of today, but with crystal keys we can chuck crystal shards onto those, and we can turn them into enhanced crystal keys, because we've got a ton of these now, these shards, and then we can open the Prifdinus crystal chest. Even if it is less efficient and less profitable than Zolcano, we just can't do Zolcano right now because there's too much competition. But like I say, it's like daytime on a weekday, so I don't know why it's so busy. Maybe that's just when the max capers come out to play. There's the first tooth half of the experience here at Gorak. Always nice to see one of those. No idea how long it's going to be, but like I say, we will be turning these once we get both halves into enhanced crystal keys. As you can see, as a bonus from this Gorak plane though, because we are rolling the gem and rare drop table loads, we are getting a bunch of diamonds as well. Still have regular addy bolts equipped, so anytime we do a trip of these, get some diamonds, chuck the bolt tips on, and then they'll just stack here with these others that we've been making, and we'll have some bolts ready for PVM, which is cool. So let's do 3 cracks of this chest, couple of gems there. And obviously we get a dragonstone each time, a key half, which is exactly what we were looking for, and another key half. That's incredible. We are getting closer and closer to getting our 16 dragonstones for our jewelry box 3. Obviously we will have 16 dragonstone jewelry pieces in our invent, which will be kinda tight, because we'll also have to go get a cat and do some stews, because the level to make the jewelry box is actually 91, I believe, so we need a +7, so we will be stewing for this as well, which is a pain. Oh dude, another crystal key. We might be almost done. One sec. If we get another loop half or a full key out of this, then we're finished. Loop half, please? No. That's fine. So as you can see there, we now have 13 dragonstones. So if we include the glory and the wealth that we already have, then that's 15, and we already have half a crystal key. So if we can go get one loop half, then we have enough dragonstones for our jewelry box. We will need to clear up the invent for sure, but we can get rid of things like the rune pickaxe and the Zami staff, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Anyway, back to it. See you in a bit. Okay guys, here we are. We've got our 8 uncharged but enchanted rings of wealth. So we need to head to the Fountain of Rune now to turn these into Ring of Wealth 5s. So what we're going to do, like I say, is really quickly go grab a Wilderness Sword. The order of this, by the way, is just so stupid. Like, why are the Karamja gloves up here with all this other stuff? And then the other diary items are down here. Also, here's the God Cape thing. Now we've done Mage Arena 1, like I said, these would be added to Purdue. Sadly, the Mage Arena 2 capes aren't added to Purdue. You need to get a Mage Arena 1 cape back and go back to Collodion and kill one of the bosses from Mage Arena 2 again. But, you know, if the Mage Cape 1's all we want and we don't care about the upgraded cape, we can just come back to this guy. It looks like a Guthix one, but if you click it, it does give you the option to buy any of them for 23k, so that's really, really good. Cool, let's do it. Rather terrifying. Like I say, we do have some stuff that we could, in fact, lose. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Well, there's a guy. Okay, we're back in. Let's get out of here. I don't really know what's around here now, because they've changed this whole area with the Wildy Boss rework thing. So I don't know if there are still hotspots here, if the new Wildy Boss room entrance things are around this place, or if they're a little bit further afield and this area is now quite safe. And there we go, we've escaped with our Rings of Wealth. Ooh, always terrifying. One of the things I'm hanging on to is this redwood tree seed, because it needs 90 farming, which means we could do it at 85, which is... it's 800k away. We'll keep the steel bars. Prayer pot 4s, I guess we don't need. It's only 5 full prayer pots. We've got Ranoz currently planted, so we'll get some more prayer pots back in a bit. So here we go, we've got 8 items really that we're keeping, and then everything else is just what we're up to currently. So guys, I just need to put a little bit of a pause on this jewelry box commentary here and just go over something with you. I think during this segment here, I experienced the single worst luck anyone's ever had on RuneScape with spicy stews. I initially planned to just get a kitten and just go try fight the behemoths with a kitten, just feeding it a stack of Karambwanji repeatedly to keep it alive and tank our way through, but the kitten literally doesn't have the combat stats to be able to damage a behemoth quick enough to kill it. I don't think it's actually possible, so I ended up having to just kill the small rats. For like over an hour, maybe like an hour 20, I got absolutely shockingly bad luck with orange spice, which is the spice we need. I got so many of the other spices in 3 and 4 dose drops, specifically the useless ones like red, and I got very, very few like 1 and 2 dose oranges. It was actually ridiculous. If I was a more shameless YouTuber, I'd say, hey, pause the video here, go in the comments below and write how many spicy stews you think it took me to get a +4 boost, bearing in mind I didn't even need the +5, which is the maximum stew boost. As you know, a spicy stew can be anything from a -5 to a +5, so there's 11 different outcomes. I needed either a +4 or a +5, meaning the chance was 2 out of 11 or about 1 in 5.5. So I'd like you to guess, if you want to play along, just how many stews it took me to get a +4 construction boost to make this jewelry box 3. Okay guys, wish me luck, it's boost time. Please. Dude, -3, come on. I've been doing this for an hour 40 and I've had 3 negative stews. Have you done it? Okay, I'll tell you, it was 27 stews, so it took me 4.5 hours. Obviously, as you know, it only takes 3 hours to raise a cat, so obviously it became a lot quicker with a fully grown cat because I was actually able to fight the behemoths. But yeah, not even going for the +5. Spicy stew number 27. Can we hit a +4 or a +5? Oh my god, +5, there it is! Ornate jewelry box complete on the Ultimate Iron Man with no storage. The chance to have received this boost by 26 stews is 99.46%. We got so unfathomably unlucky. But there we go, that's that done. All we have left to do is go get the Rev Caves music track, the Wilderness Slayer Cave music track, and then finally go claim our Mage Arena 2 cape from the quest that we've already completed. We just need to go back and turn it in, pretty much. If we just take a quick look at this now, the teleport menu has been expanded with this entire bottom row, so we can get to Donderkun's Rock in Keldagrim, the park specifically of Falador, the Grand Exchange, which is really cool, even though it's already in our Nexus, because we've got Varrock Medium, and then the Island of Miscellanea for a few clue scrolls potentially, so that's really good. But yeah, if you include the time it took to get those 16 Dragonstones, bearing in mind we used the ones we already had equipped, so we only got 14. But just so you know, that was 3 days of gameplay to make that jewelry box. Okay guys, we've done a bit of running around since getting the jewelry box 3. I just want to do some additions to the house. We're going to replace this mounted glory though with the mounted myths cape. We just bought a brand new one from the Myths Guild, so we can get rid of this mounted mythical cape over here. I think if you drop these in your house, you shouldn't be able to get them back. They should despawn straight away. Yeah, there we go. Just to show that I'm not keeping the Myths Cape or the Glory, so there we go. So technically, we've just moved things around. All we've really gained is the teleports from the Ring of Wealth in this box, but that is nice to have anyway. Right guys, so with that construction done, I'm going to work on some non-wieldy stuff tonight, like I say, because it's really, really busy at the moment. Currently, I've just looked through every other diary requirement in the game here, except for Wilderness Elite, because we'll never be going for that one. But for everything else, there's only one potentially worrying diary task left. One of the things we need to do for RD Elite is go inside the Castle Wars minigame and cast Ice Barrage on another player. Like Soul Wars, you can't go in with any non-combat stuff. I don't want to get really, really good gear together later and then have to drop it later to go do this diary task, because we do want to try and do every Elite diary eventually, but we should be allowed in with our Ancient Staff at least, and maybe at worst we might have to drop our Slayer Helm. So I think what I'll do is I'll try and find a table somewhere near Castle Wars where we can put these 2 items down if possible, and then they should remain there for like 10 minutes, and hopefully we can get inside the minigame, cast this 1 Ice Barrage, and then get straight out and reclaim our stuff before it despawns. There we go guys, just missed it, but there's the 74 fletching from just making these steel arrows, using up the steel bars from Zolcano, so we don't have them in our invent so we can get inside Castle Wars. Right guys, here I am upstairs in the Canifis pub, which is kind of a strange place. What we're going to be doing is just putting a bunch of stuff on the table up here, including our cash stack, including our Slayer Helm. I don't know how long this is going to last, because I've not really put stuff on... Maybe we're allowed in with the Slayer Helm, I'm not sure. We'll just try dropping that at Castle Wars. I made a jewel ring so we can get there quickly, but for all this other stuff, I'm just putting it on the table. So hopefully no one shows up. Can't put that on a table. Okay, so these last 2 things we'll just drop at Castle Wars then. So let's go see if we can get in. We'll drop our Slayer Helm. We'll drop our Eternal Crystal. Hopefully we don't lose these. And then I guess it's 2 minutes, it says, till the game starts, which is kind of worrying. If it's 2 minutes, then I'm fairly sure our Slayer Helm and Pelly Crystal will despawn. But if we can't put them on tables, we can't put them on tables. So, there we go. Castle Wars brew down the stairs. As soon as we see the task pop, we'll leave. Take my dehides off. There we go. And then... Okay, here we are. In the Castle Wars lobby. Slayer Helm's more important. Eternal Crystal. Then really quickly off to Canifis, see if our other stuff's still there. We successfully got the diary task, by the way. It popped in chat, but I had to hop before stopping the recording. And we've retrieved everything, which is cool. And that's really the only task that's going to require us to not have gear, so that's really good, that's out the way. Back to the wilderness tomorrow, to do those last two things, the music tracks and the Mage Arena 2 cape, and then we'll actually be in the running to continue with our account properly after this weird wilderness diversion, so that's cool. First things first, Rev Cave. There we go, that's the Revenant music track, we'll immediately telly. So if we head to Court Beast real quick, another thing we need is actually the music from the Court Boss room, so I'm just going to go in and go out. Hopefully the music track pops as soon as we get in. There it is. That's it, that's all the music tracks, right. So what we can do now is claim our Mage Cape 1 back for free instead of using Purdue. And then we can immediately talk to Collodion here, and then we're pretty much done now with the Wildy. We're safely in the Mage Bank and we'll be teleporting out of here. And there it is, the best in slot Mage Cape in the entire game. It looks super cool. It's got amazing stats, 15 mage attack and 2% damage. We'll be using that for Zulrah and Muspur and stuff going forward if we don't get rid of it. If we do have to trash this, obviously we can always buy the one with 10 mage attack and no damage from Purdue at any point. But for now, that's the Wilderness entirely complete on our account. And we can move forward looking at the combat achievements to unlock the Gommel's Hilt, to do efficient barrows, and then get back into Slayer, working towards 87 for our Trident, our Whip, our D-Boots, and then we'll be actually set to do some PVM. So really, really excited. It's been quite a journey here in the wilderness, but for now, we're out of here probably for good. Goodbye, Wildy. It's been real. Right, guys, and with the wilderness complete there, I'm going to call this episode complete here. Haha. I'm not going to keep you too long because I know this one's already really, really long, but let's just really quickly go over the things we got done this episode. At the very start, I reclaimed the Slayer Helm, and we got like 10 strength levels while getting 5 whole Slayer levels. That was 2 solid weeks of slaying from, I think, 78 to our now 83. Of course, we're now at the level for D boots, so we can go grab those when we return to Slayer and have some extra strength bonus, which is cool. I got a couple of clue scroll uniques throughout this episode, mainly from Slayer, things like the Enchanted Robe Bottom, the Bandos Coif, and a Bandos Page. All of our Bryo Fighter combat achievements are complete, as well as a bunch of other miscellaneous ones for things like Brutal Black Dragons, Lizard Men, stuff like that. Of course, we got 5 whole smithing levels from 85 to 90, so now we can +1 and make our own rune crossbow from scratch, which is really useful. And with doing that, we also completed the Giant's Foundry collection log. We got 4 construction levels from the 80 we were before to 84, so now we're in range to boost for anything to make our maxed POH, which we will be doing in future, but it's going to cost at least 7 mil to make all the furniture itself. Of course, we also need the scepter on top of that from Pyramid Plunder. We headed to the wilderness. I killed 25 King Black Dragon and did all the combat achievements for him. We killed 10 Chaos Fanatic and 10 Crazy Archaeologist as well and did all the combat achievements there. And then of course we killed Scorpia and Chaos Ellie, which allowed us to complete the Wilderness Easy, Medium and Hard diaries. Also in the Wildy, we completed the Mage Arena 1, unlocked all 3 of the God spells for casting outside the wilderness, and also completed the Mage Arena 2 and came out with an imbued Zami cape. Got all the music tracks in the Wildy, made a whole bunch of Dragonstone items and spent 4.5 hours getting the boost to make our Jewelry Box 3. So now we have Ring of Wealth tellies in our house, and our cape rack is now freed up for when we next get a 99 cape with teleports on it, maybe a strength cape or a fishing cape or something. We can mount that in our house and that'll be really cool. We also knocked out that Castle Wars achievement for RD Elite, so that's safely done down the line. We won't need to risk any gear on the floor outside of Castle Wars when we have better stuff. Speaking of our goals for next time, I want to catch up on a little bit of skilling now. We have a relatively free invent and we're free of the wilderness and we're not quite back into Slayer. I've got a few things I want to theory craft. Then I also want to get a fire cape at some stage, as well as picking up those dragon boots, just so we have a couple more max hit on Slayer task. Should make the grind to 87 Slayer a little bit quicker. Should be noticeable if we get a bunch of different strength-based unlocks, and in 2 more levels we'll have access to an Abbey Whip, and then of course 2 more levels after that will be 87, we'll get our Trident, and we'll take a look at the medium combat achievements to get that Gommel's Hilt too, so we can go to Barrows with no prayer. I also might do a little bit of skilling, maybe get our fire making up finally, because it is lagging behind. It's like 72 or 73, so it's our lowest skill, so Tears of Gothics keeps going into that instead of prayer or herblore, so I might just send a long session of fire making, get it to like 80 plus, so we don't even have to think about it ever again. But yeah, really appreciate you guys sticking with me for this really long episode. Like I say, it was about a month of gameplay in this one. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you would, drop a sub if you want to, leave a comment if you have anything to say or any suggestions on the order of future content, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.